All right, we're live. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about crypto and crypto accessories. And today I have a very special guest, and we're going to be talking about a very special crypto accessory. I have Sabar Marim from bit.tube. He's the CEO and founder. How goes it, bro?
Hi, Ken. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks to the community to um, keep themselves up to date with our hopefully latest news for them.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've actually been using BitTube for a little while now. Actually, my buddy Mike Salvi, he does comedy, and out of nowhere, he told me he was using a crypto, blockchain platform for uploading videos, and I was like, wait, I do crypto stuff. What are you talking about? And I actually like stumbled across it through him, so I just wanted to give him a shout out and thank him for showing me and introducing me to BitTube because it is a really interesting concept and platform. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Maybe let the audience know a little bit about yourself and how you stumbled into creating BitTube.
Yeah, I'm coming from the tech world, and I was developing several uh, products for different kind of companies, from big to small ones. And since 2012, I'm working for myself, building my own products, and I have several companies for development. I have an ISP company. We have a co-working center to make more networking, etc.
Hmm.
And someday we had a requirement from a client where they want to build a remote desktop protocol, which is poor peer-to-peer, and we start to build it with especially with WebRTC, and then we had some presentation even on the LAN party here on Tenerife, by the way. And the gamers was asking me, okay, when this is possible to do it peer-to-peer, maybe it could be interesting to build also such a platform for it. And yeah, IPVC, the first name was born, and we started to build the platform step by step. And sure, we was thinking about also how to monetize this, because we was sure that when we want to protect freedom of speech and all this and censorship and everything, there is a no-go to work with PayPal or other major fiat systems. It was clear for us that they will not play uh, in that game. So we decided to implement a cryptocurrency solution. We check many things, also Bitcoin in that case. And when you maybe remember in the beginning of 2018, when we launched the platform, we had basically web mining. We was
Yep.
working on a light protocol, but quickly we dropped it because, yeah, let's say all the major players, like Chrome, like Firefox, like Safari, they doesn't want to have web mining in their system and using their devices or whatever. So we was forced to find another solution, and the solution is called airtime. So airtime doesn't mind. So that's the first major thing. Yeah. We are even discussing right now with the Firefox team, with the review team right now, that airtime doesn't do any kind of mining. It's just an attention algorithm which is detecting your behavior, and that we or that the algorithm can decide if it's human activity or it's bot activity.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring
Um,
that up as we move into a attention economy instead of like an industrial economy where like robots are doing that work where we humans create and consume content. We're gonna have another problem where we have the garbage in, garbage out. A lot of people are seeing it now with, like the Chinese clickbot farms where they click on ads to make your ad revenue jump and stuff, and you get likes and retweets on Twitter and things like that.
exactly. That's absolutely true. And the point is that the major difference between an ad network and the airtime system is that I would say that, let's say, platforms like Google and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and many others, they really don't care if they have bots in their network or not, because by the end, even a bot is generating revenue for them.
Mm.
And and airtime here in our case, it's different. So we are forced to take care about it, because otherwise, we would just die. And that's the major difference between the two systems, that one needs to take care about it and the other one doesn't interest them.
Yeah, you mentioned censorship, and one of the comments in the chat from Crypto Shock LLC said copyright strikes. I mean, I'm sorry, that somebody skipped the chat. That wasn't him. That was somebody else. I'm sorry. It was Satoshi Nakamoto over here that said that censorship is getting really bad right now. When it comes to like censorship, though, doesn't that just come down to the platform and preference rather than like a public, censoring of something? Like, I think didn't BitTube just get rid of the not safe for work subsection?
Yeah.
Would that not be like a form of censorship then of BitTube?
Let's say it in that way. So to have a total censorship platform, it would require that we are just online inside of a dark web. But with that, we will not reach mass adoption. So we need to take some steps to prevent copyright, illegal activities, child porn, I don't know, rape, whatever, everything which is not good for us, for ourselves. But especially the new platform is a hybrid. So what we are saying is, okay, on our main domain, we doesn't want to see this kind of stuff. We will unpublish it, and this time the unpublishing system is working different than let's say on YouTube, where the AI is taking care, and the huge team of employers which are deciding what is right, what is wrong. Especially here on the new platform which is coming up on bittubers.com. We have implemented a moderation system which is the community, so they can participate as moderators. They need to put a stake in Tubes, and then they have access to the moderation pool. And it's a complex system, but I will try to just. I
was gonna say that sounds like it could get really dangerous, because right now with YouTube you have like PewDiePie versus T-Series. If I could get my audience to downvote your content because you're competing with my my genre or my category, couldn't you just almost like gamify that system a little bit as a malicious actor?
That's the point on the new system, that all the moderators doesn't know each other, and that's the point. It's a randomized system. So when you are a moderator and you're inside of the system, you're just in a slot, and the system passes you automatically, randomly, a content, and you need to decide if the content is it's copyright or not. And it has a prison system. This means that two moderators needs to come to a consensus. And when one of them has another choice than the other one, a third moderator will join automatically, randomly. They doesn't know each other, and based on the third one or fourth one or fifth one, whatever, the decision will be taken. What will happen on the platform? Yeah, we personally believe that putting AI here in upfront will generate a lot of false positive, maybe, and we want to prevent this. That's the reason why we prefer to have a human moderated system for the new platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna basically just be using more of like an algorithmic approach rather than a human hands-on approach, and putting more of the community in control of it rather than the company, right? I guess that's how it would be said. And what are your thoughts on everybody having their own platform eventually, right? Like, how difficult would it be for me to create my own platform like BitTube? That way I don't have to worry about censorship. I have my own blockchain, my own coin, my own decentralized platform for me, and everybody individually has their own.
Yeah, what I'm right now sharing is the upcoming platform on my screen. The point is that this platform, compared to the actual Bitcoin Tube platform, is totally open source. So everybody can fork it, everybody can change it, everybody can work on it, and the works from other developers or our own developers, we will keep it online on our main domain, bittubers.com. But they can just set some flags, and they can host the platform by themselves, decentralized, totally on their own domain. or locally. We really don't care.
Well, will BitTube be getting, more updates and progressing, or is this something that's kind of, sort of how like Steam it has become like a permanent beta and kind of left as is? Is airtime become something more of, where your attention has gone?
Let's say it in that way. When we started with the platform, we have seen a lot of troubles and problems on on all fronts by the end. So and there are even good examples, like BitChute last year they had trouble with PayPal. PayPal killed their relationship with them and etc. So for us, it was the first reason that the platform can succeed in long term. It's the monetization system behind it. So let's say everybody can build a simple video platform where you can upload your stuff, little bit likes, little bit comments, and that's it. But this will solve absolutely nothing. At first we need to build a monetization system behind it, which is decentralized, and that's for us is our airtime system, where we're saying, okay, before we are able to run such a platform in a decentralized way, we need to at first solve the monetization system. This is what we did last year and in the last month with the new airtime system. So also on the new platform, there is no crypto. So it's an absolute clean platform where normies can use it with or without crypto. All the crypto related things has been moved just directly to the extension, and so the donations, the buying of tubes, whatever, everything is independent from the platform.
Oh, so you only see like the likes and the shares and the views. It doesn't reflect any tube that they earned, but do people still earn tube from this engagement?
Yes, they still earn tubes because the platform has airtime integrated. So what we are trying to show is that with the airtime module, which we released the last weeks, and the extension in combination, every platform which users are building, they are able to monetize it. They are able to track the engagement. They can share the revenue from the platform with their users and so on. And this means that let's imagine PeerTube. Yeah, PeerTube is a nice web torrent based platform, open source by the way. They could just easily implement airtime, and they can use airtime with tubes together, and they have a monetization layer directly for their own platform. BitChute the same, DLive the same, DTube the same. Yeah, when we want to go really far, I could even say library.
So this isn't anything that really
airtime.
competes with any of the current social media content, monetizing platforms. It's more like a complement to what they're already doing then.
Exactly. That's the airtime system. So the airtime system can be used everywhere. I have seen even on your website. Yeah, I've seen that you have your own website, so you could basically implement the airtime module. It takes just a few minutes, and your page is then monetized from BitTube extension. Users
How
will
does
just
that
install the
extension
extension.
work, man? I use that extension and that's like a microwave, right? Like for me, I don't know how the microwave works. I put cold food in it, I push buttons, I get warm food out, right? Like I installed the BitTube extension. It just sits there. I don't even know what I do, right? But
Yeah.
I come back and I have tube there. And then I come back
Yes.
later and there's more tube. And then I
Yes.
decided to give it away. And then with 2 Google searches, I found out that I could just give it away on Twitter with that donate to button. So
Yeah.
lay on me how that works, cause it's like I know Bitcoin's magic internet money, but I feel like that tube extension is like for real magic internet money. It just shows up.
Yeah. It's not really magic. It's you're when you're on the internet, you're doing activities any kind. You're reading blogs, you're watching videos, you're posting something, you're checking whatever. And what the extension does is in an anonymous mode, it it checks all the time what's going on. Yeah, so it checks basically how many activity you have. And for example, let's say we go to a blog and we read a blog, and the extension detects in upfront, says, okay, this page has, I don't know, that kind amount of text. this is estimated that it's 4-minute reads, and we check if you are 4 minutes on this page, we expect, yeah, that you have read the full article. We see that it has been, or with their system detects that it has been scrolled, so you reach the end, and this amount of minutes or seconds or whatever gets credit to your account, and based on that you get a portion of the tube's reward from each block.
Interesting. Now, how's the data to that handled? Is that sort of like data that's being sold, or the analytics to that being sold to third parties, or what happens with that data? Because once you link your address to your Twitter, or you start creating content, you're kind of putting yourself out there, and I'm just curious what. Like if I'm
Yeah,
reading
I
blogs
can
of X, Y, and Z, what does that
yeah,
mean to the data?
I can tell you what will happen with the data. The AI will get feeded. So, and let's imagine you are on YouTube, on PewDiePie, and 10,000 other people are also on that channel. They're watching, and we are the AI of BitTube is analyzing the behavior of all the 10,000 users, and it compares the behavior between each of them until something starts to be clear. So we realize that, okay, a portion of this behaves all in the same way, so these are probably human activity. The rest we drop because we say, okay, this looks too random for us, this looks like a bot system for us,
Okay.
and they don't get any kind of reward. The data by himself, which we have in our system, I tell you, it's get dropped every time when a payment happens. So we have a 3-day rolling window. So the maximum
Okay.
amount of data which we keep is 3 days. As soon as the payment happens, we have no need for the data to keep it. And like probably everybody knows, BitTube is against advertisement, so we have no need to target some specific information about the users because we doesn't sell them anything. And since we don't show them any kind of targeted ads, we have no need for any kind of data to keep it or analyze it or whatever. It's just to teach the system, the AI, that you say who behaves like a human and who is maybe a bot.
So I kind of, that's like the perfect segue to this question is, what would you say, which industry is BitTube disrupting the most then? Is it content creating or social networking? Is it advertising and engaging of information and content? Or is it like the banking aspect of it now, and like the where McDonald's is to the Industrial Revolution? BitTube could be the minimum wage average job. I don't know. What is BitTube's
The
most disruptive attribute, do you think?
the vision behind all that, it's simple. Um, in one sentence, we just want to monetize any kind of content in the World Wide Web. That's what we want to do. And that's where airtime comes in place. And we want to monetize videos, we want to monetize text, we just want to monetize the attention for creators and 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 visitors.
If BitTube
And
was around in the early 90s, you would have made a lot of cat videos and bum fights that were really lucrative. It's
yeah,
it's interesting to see what kind of content's going to be created now that people are sort of incentivized. And I could see even a bounty system created off of a platform like this, where I want to see this kind of content, or I'm looking for this kind of information. I could create some sort of bounty to incentivize content creators or people to
absolutely.
become content creators that never really felt like they stood a chance, because you have to get like 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers or something on YouTube to start making $1 per 10,000 views, and they take 30% of that off of the dollar anyway after that. So it's
Yeah,
like, it's really discouraging even to start now, and people kind of get a little bummed out about it. So this is sort of for like, I think the next opportunity for people to take advantage. Like, a lot of people are excited that PewDiePie is coming to decentralized platforming, and I think that's cool. But I feel like this is our thing, and this is like where we're having a chance now for people to start fresh and have an advantage over the PewDiePies of YouTube.
exactly. I mean, we had our Bitcoin platform, which is just focused on video, but we realized very quickly that, um, seriously, just a waste of time to try to compete with YouTube. Um, they are a giant, and they are not from yesterday, and it's not a small company, so they will be always ahead. And I'm talking about the mass. I'm not talking um, about all the creators would get demonetized or they get banned from the different kind of platforms. I'm talking really about the mass. And when I'm talking about the mass, I mean seriously my son, which is 3 years old, which is just used to use YouTube, since he's a child. And it's very difficult for any competitor to change this habit. Yeah, to change this habit for ourselves. So what I'm seeing is to build a clone just under the name of censorship and freedom of speech. Um, it will be not able to make the race. So I need to be honest with myself, and that's the reason why we decide to build something new. We say by ourselves that we need to take Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit all together, and we need to build something new where there is a new platform where the audience of the creator can grow, and they are more directly in touch with their clients without switching platforms all the time. And that's one of the main reasons why we decide to build a new platform, which is a mix or a combination of all that. Yeah, we can see it actually here. We are in home. We have sections like recommended, explore, videos, live stream, images, audios, podcasts, and you have topics like people can generate their own topics. Then you have the subscription, etc. And here is a upvote, downvote system. You can like it, you can bookmark it, you can share it with others, you can add it to your playlist, etc. And yeah, we are going in that direction. And one interesting thing here is that the platform here will be open sourced, and it's pushed to we are working here also with WebTorrent. So some people will ask why we have that one here. We released last week, when I'm not wrong, the air share system. So we will control the content that just good things will stay here on the platform, and not some copyright
So are people gonna have to
violence.
do anything with their tube during all of this mayhem that seems to be going on right now? I mean, there's a lot that you're doing, and it may
Yeah.
be a little confusing, like to the average person. Like you said, they don't even see that they have like BitTube or Tube here at all. So is there any like precautions or any proactive actions that people have to take right now during this transition?
Yes, we have the recommendation. Wait, let me go here. Asmaran, my settings. There, no, edit profile. We have here a membership system where you are basically basic, verified, plus creator and power user. They have different kind of possibilities. And to upgrade your membership, you need to stake tubes for that activity, or you have a membership. But as soon you would go inside of this process for upgrade, we tell you, please install the extension, go there to your wallet, stake the amount of tubes which is required, and the page here will interact with the extension there up, where you're able to upgrade your membership. And
Awesome.
when you don't have tubes, you're able to just buy it via transfer with crypto, Bitcoin, or credit card. And that's the way how it's connected all together. So the extension is directly working together with the platform. It has many
So
reasons.
you have wire transfer right there. Does that go both ways?
Yes, actually, yes, because here in buy tubes, you have wire transfer. You can say, okay, I want to buy X US dollar in worth of tubes. Then you can create your order and you will receive your tubes after the transfer. Or you go to your account, and we have here convert my tubes. You go on it, and on convert my tubes, you will verify yourself, KIC, and you
Okay.
can cash out directly your tubes in fiat.
And this is
Yeah,
because you have a license that can make this possible, right?
exactly. That's the point. We
What
are
was
now
that
since few
process
months.
like, and what encouraged you to go through that? Because I know that that can be one of those like hair pulling out processes that a lot of like CEOs have kind of expressed that it isn't the most convenient process to go through right now trying to obtain. So, what was it like for BitTube to obtain these bank license and exchanging license and things?
Yeah, first step was moving from. We have different kind of offices. We have one in Spain. We have one in Germany. We have one now in Estonia because in Estonia we got the licenses for it to handle all the fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat licenses for it. So we have it now since a few months, and we start to implement it inside of the extension. And some countries give us some benefits. That's the reason why we are also building now, for example, one of the reasons of Article 13, we are building also now a headquarter inside of near Hong Kong. We are moving to Delaware, so we are splitting our services across the globe,
Jeez.
and each of the countries give us some benefits, and that's the reason why we are separating everything, that everything can run by himself independent.
Wow, you guys are busy, man. Bravo. I mean, like I play around with this, and this is the BitTube extension, right? This isn't the Airtime extension.
Exactly, that's the BitTube extension.
Right. So I wanted to just go through one or two more little things of this and kind of go more focused on the air to or the airtime side. But like, how does the ad block work, and then the VPN essentially is that like a just like a third party partnered VPN, or is this like part of the blockchain or something? Like, how does the VPN in here work?
The VPN by himself, it's our network. It's a BitTube network. We started in December last year to build our own infrastructure um, with with our own servers around the globe.
Huh.
So and we are extending it based on the need. And I will explain you also why the VPN is there. Um, so we I personally have a lot of bad experience with third parties. So I hate to work with third parties. I prefer to go the hard road and build it by myself or by ourselves, because then we know what is there and nobody can, yeah, hurt us, let's say. And that's the reason why we build our own network and we are extending it so by need. So as soon we see that more capacities are needed, we will add more. It's not a decentralized VPN. This is something which people should know. It's a centralized VPN from us. Um, but it has no logging or something similar, so we have no need for that. Yeah, that's what it does.
So
Simple.
but when you say centralized or not decent, like do you have any decentralized VPN that like uses crypto that you could recommend? Because I don't think there is one. Is there?
There are many of them which are trying to build this, um, but not one of them is easy enough to or not ready enough for
Yeah,
mass
not
adoption.
ready enough for sure. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean this works. I use the VPN on here, and it doesn't really slow down the experience that much. And the
Yeah.
ad blocker works pretty flawlessly too. Like, how does that work when you're engaging with websites? How does the BitTube ad blocker, kind of filter that out and stuff?
Yeah. The ad blocker is basically thanks to uBlock, so it's a fork of uBlock, by the way.
That's
Um,
awesome, dude. Teamwork makes
yeah.
the dream work.
Yes. We was checking different ad blockers, and we say, oh dear man, there are so many great ad blockers. They have put so much work and hard development work inside of it, and they earn basically nothing. I mean, when I'm taking a look on uBlock, um, they they have no monetization system behind it. Then you have AdBlock Plus. Basically, their business model is to whitelist some domains and earn money for it. That's not the best approach. And we say, okay, let's try to implement an AdBlock system, and at the same time monetize creators and viewers. To have a business model for it. Yeah? And this is what Airtime does by then. So we took one of the famous ad blockers in this world and we attached Airtime to it. And there is no ads for the creators and for the viewers anymore, or for the visitors, and still both are monetized. And I think that's a really interesting concept, which
Interesting is,
shows.
yeah, the least. I mean, this is like, it's like the Swiss crypto army knife of content over here. I mean, I
That's
don't want to say it as if like it is what I'm thinking and it's not, but a lot of people may think that the company may be spread a little too thin, you know, having a lot of cooks in the kitchen doing different things instead of, you know, dedicating all of them to one resource at a time. But, you know, not to stage the question too much, but personally, I think that it's probably better to diversify your attention in your developers in the platform than to focus on one thing narrow-mindedly at a time. But I'm just wondering how, like, obviously it's been working out for BitTube to have a lot going on. Is this, you know, what you guys are getting used to, or do you see more like narrowing the focus of the developer's power?
Look, let's say it in that way. Let's take a look on the US dollar, and when you see the US dollar economic system doesn't is not only used by restaurants for gastronomy, yeah, it
Yep.
gets used all over the place. So they built an economic system around it. Yeah, welcome to Tube. That's what Tube tries to do. Yeah, we are a currency, we're a cryptocurrency, a global one, and sure, it can be used for transporting value. And what BitTube does, or what our task is to build an economic system behind it. So we are building all the time new services around it. And it could be the content, it could be the ad blocker, it is the VPN, it is the fiat, cash in, cash out, and much more. So also on the new platform, there will be a section where you are able to sell your whatever. Yeah, it will have an integrated marketplace. So why not use that? You know, we are on a platform. There is the user base is there, and when I want to sell my, I don't know, my Samsung Galaxy 3, then I could do it directly here. And we as BitTube, as a company, we are acting as an escrow between, you know. And why to build all the time island solutions when we can integrate everything in one part?
Absolutely. Like you were saying, basically, you know, customers won't adopt a currency without some sort of economy or ecosystem to really use it in, where it's, you know, passed along in different avenues rather than just down one, like, you know, just the ad block or just the VPN, or just one stream of use for it. And I guess my one last on this topic, I want to wrap up with my maximalist question on the BitTube, and then I want to get to the airtime thing is, why not just Bitcoin? You know, a lot of maximalists are going to be like, oh, it's called BitTube. Why ain't I earning Bitcoin? Why am I earning Tube? Why not just use Bitcoin, right?
You know, it would be a pleasure to use Bitcoin by himself, because sure, they have millions of active users already there. But there, on the airtime system, there's something unique. So we have the block reward, which is splitted between miners, and they give a portion away to the airtime system, and then the airtime system spreads them based on human engagement and activity across all the BitTube users. Um, this has one major point, because there is not such reward thing on BTC, where I'm able to get the mining reward and split them across another system. Sure, we would be able to fork Bitcoin and change the distribution model of it, and then we call it what? BitTube? I don't know, yeah, but
Bitcoin Tube instead of Bitcoin Cash? I don't know.
yeah. So, but to be honest, I think that the Bitcoin developers, the community there, they're doing a great job, and we from our side, we would like to have both benefits. You know, we want to have a currency at one side, and we want to give also the opportunity to have privacy and on the other side. So you can use all our services and everything, and here and there we have KIC or phone verification or whatever. But when you go down the rabbit hole, you can still send from one wallet to another wallet, totally private, your tubes.
And you can
Yeah,
send Tube from Twitter account to Twitter account. It's freaking awesome. I do it all the
exactly.
time. And I'll be honest, like, I like to hold my Tube. So I have two different Tube accounts. I have the Tube account that I use for my videos and upvoting things and like kind of donating tube and commenting, and then I have the other tube account and totally separate that's for the extension. And all that
Yes.
tube that I freaking earn, bro, I've been giving it all away. I've been
Yeah.
donating tube to everybody, and I didn't realize I could have converted it into fiat. So now I feel like an idiot. So
That's but to be honest, I'm doing the same in our team and also a lot of other members, and I think that's the way to mass adoption.
no, it is. I mean,
Let's
I
let
think so. I try to reach out to other content creators, and I'm like, yo, here's a couple tube, and I do it every once in a while to like refresh the interest.
Yeah, I mean we have such cases. I have friends, they are not from the cryptocurrency scene, and they say, I would never go there and try to buy bitcoins. Yeah, never. They have just no interest on it. Yeah, but they all agree to install the tube extension because it doesn't need to do anything. They just install it, they register themselves like on any other platform, like I don't know, Facebook. They register themselves, put their phone, and boom, they have their wallet, they have the extension, they earn some coins, and now I have their attention. you know Now I have their attention, that they start to research what the hell is tube. Yeah.
No,
And
I
that's
mean,
the
a lot of
way.
people start to think like this is weird, that people are going to be using these projects and plugins and extensions to just monetize what they're doing already on a daily basis. No extra steps, no extra effort, no extra work. It's just
Exactly.
the addition of this extension into your incorporation of your browser, and that's it. You just start to earn based off of your interactions with said services.
This is exactly, I wake up last year in summer, I wake up in the morning and I say to myself, Saver, don't be an idiot. Don't try to change the habits of millions of people. It will not succeed. Yeah. It's just impossible to accomplish this. Yeah. And I say, okay, the solution to reach mass adoption for crypto and our currency is that it needs to be a passive activity. So that's where airtime has been born, or the idea of the extension has been born. That we say, okay, just when the extension is passive, and I know that X thousand users has installed it, they already forgot even about it. Yeah, but in some months they will go there, they will click the extension and say, what is that? Why I have installed this? Yeah. And then they will see, okay, I have earned, I don't know, 200 tubes, and that's an equivalent of X US dollar. And then I have their attention again
Yep.
to the, yeah. And when I'm telling them you need to keep your phone or your computer 24 hours open, your wallet needs to do this and that, it will be a very slow progress to
Yeah, I
grow.
mean, people are so impatient, they still get upset about wallets sinking. So, I mean, I could only imagine the average person trying to figure out some of these things and just like, well, I thought you said it was free. Well, it's almost free. The transaction fees are almost free. That's what I meant. Like a lot of the things
Exactly.
that when I got into this space, it was like half true. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's not anonymous, it's synonymous. It's not permissionless. It's you got Coinbase and everybody else. I have to ask for permission right now. So
correct.
it's interesting. So let's talk a little bit here about that airtime and the extension. And is there going to be like Aircoin, or is it still use Tube? And what's like the roadmap for this project?
Let's say the basics are almost there. So our focus was the airtime module. The airtime module is now out. We will extend it, and I will show you a little bit. When you can go to links here inside of the extension, you say register platform, you tell it, I don't know, example.com, and you say register platform. Then sometime later you get your platform has been registered, and you have this meta text and the script. You copy that, and you put this just in the header of your website
Oh
or
yeah, cool. A lot of I had to
application.
do that for like other random sites before. I think even
Yes,
like Twitch made me
exactly,
do it.
correct. And that one here, the airtime bundle JS, takes care about all your guest users and their attention, how much time they have spent on
What?
on your website. your guest users doesn't need to have installed the extension, so it's totally independent from the extension.
That's
So,
sick.
and let me remove my extension from here, remove it from airtime, and let's go to that page, for example,
That's
devcups.com.
pretty powerful stuff because if I would love to be able to reach out to the people if they did have a an address if they visit it, I could like send them some coins for visiting my website randomly.
Exactly. And what we are doing is, you have now, when you have hooked up the three lines from the airtime module, this page here, devcups.com, is now monetized with its guest users from the airtime module. When you hover on it, you see powered by BitTube. And when you click on it, you will get more information about what airtime is, what airtime does. It tells the user also to install the airtime extension. We are hooking up this right now to the user's referral system, so that when the website owner has integrated the airtime module and his users are installing the airtime extension, he gets always 5 tubes for this incentive. Yeah, that's what the airtime module does. And in the summertime, it will be interesting because the airtime module will be also available natively for Java, for Android, and for Swift for iOS, so that even app developers could implement the airtime module directly inside of their applications to earn some tubes. And it goes further. It goes further because I'll show you this here. Airtime. That's a new page which is coming up, and the new airtime module probably in 1 month, during the next month. It will not only have the airtime module integrated for tracking airtime and everything, it will have also micropayment module directly integrated in airtime. This means that you can set up a donate button without the extension, and you can tell them, okay, buy tubes, whatever. It injects everything inside of your page, and they can do a wire transfer, crypto, credit card, and you have a paywall directly for your page and for your services. And this button, you can call it like you want. Yeah, it could be just donate tubes. It could be just purchase a product, a digital good, or whatever.
Right, like subscribe or whatever.
Exactly. The benefit for it is, in that case, that it doesn't require from your side that you run your own wallet on your daemon and on your server, etc. So we are taking care about all this background infrastructure. So the only thing what you do is you just put this widget, and that's it.
Is there any developer fees or anything like that associated with the interactions of these features?
No. No developer fees, no fees. The only fees which are existing are when the user is buying tubes with fiat or crypto, whatever. Then there are fees. Yeah, that we need to pay the credit card company that they do the transactions for us. But when you send tubes to tubes, there is no fees except the blockchain fees, which are basically nothing.
Well, I mean, that's pretty interesting. So what would you say the key demographic or your like target end user is at this moment, right? When you're like ready to go, who would you say is your prime customer?
Our prime customers, I would say, in first game, content creators, especially in the gaming section. We want to go in that direction. This is our first target, that we get gamers on board, because I think they have the highest potential to spread the word about you.
So is that just do you see that besides the streaming aspect, or what side, like I guess BitTube versus like airtime? How could a content creator utilize each platform or product like to better their profit for their content?
Let's say it in that way. The highest profit they would do when they are sharing their stuff here inside of the new bittubers.com platform. And like even the name says, BitTubers, we mean exactly the community with it. So the highest benefit for them is to upload it here to us, and here they get the highest revenue for it. this process in the upcoming platform is, by the way, also automatized. So you're able to link your Twitter, your Facebook, and everything what you know already from the extension, from the linking accounts. And when you give us the permission, we will grab your posts on all the different social platforms and YouTube and everything, and we will auto publish it here directly in our platform.
Are you just going to be able to host your own videos soon? Because I know I'm live streaming on bit.tube live right now, but unfortunately that live stream isn't saved. What I usually do is I actually easily just go into my settings, I go to upload, it says connect to YouTube, click the video, upload, and then it's right on the BitTube.
Yes.
And I was talking to somebody in my chat earlier, John Blaze, about the concept of air share and paying some tube to host files on IPFS server.
Yes. It's coming. It has something to do with your membership. So I can tell you that the basic and verified will not have this kind of functionality. So it's instant, especially for live stream. So you stream and
Well,
that's
what
it.
are the staking levels? Like, how much would I have to stake for basic, verified, and etc. moving up?
I can show you that.
Thank you. Yeah, because that was the next question. People were asking how many tube do they need to stake for the features, and is there an amount of tube that people may want to acquire in order to get the debit card?
Yes. Let's start here. That's the stacking system for the users. They have two options. They can do a mobile verification, and then they are basic, or they can ignore the mobile verification when they doesn't want to share the phone number with us. Then they can stake 2,500 tubes. Then they're inside of the basic level. Then there's an Airtime Pro level where you're already able to store that we host also your data, where you're able to do a mobile verification plus 2,500 tubes. Then you're an Airtime Pro customer. Or you say you doesn't want to have the mobile verification and you stake 25k tube. So you see there is a high difference if you are mobile verified or not. And these levels are changing, and it goes up to 25k tubes and 250k tubes where you're an airtime addict. And there are more levels which we are releasing in the upcoming article, which is in 2 days, by the way, because the stacking system should be available on this Friday inside of the extension. This means on the basic level, you are allowed to do basically nothing. Let's say the maximum what you can do is 20 minutes videos. Yeah, 20-minute videos. You are limited in the text and some other things to interact with the platform. Then you have the verified level, which you have much more freedom. On the plus level, you're allowed up to upload up to 120 minutes, 720 characters, and much more interaction with the platform. Also, the amount of hashtags which you can use inside the platform are limited based on your membership. So a basic user is just allowed to use 2 hashtags for their videos and not more, while a power user is basically unlimited. And this kind of functionality that the audience can find you faster. And also for creators and power users, based on how much they staked, they have the option to get promoted posts. Yeah, so these are just
cool.
So you can boost basically your content up to reach a higher audience, and yeah, boost everything up. Yeah.
So when I look at platforms like this, I think projects should have their, instead of like Dash having a YouTube channel, which makes absolutely no sense unless you want to be an ironic hypocrite, they should have their content being hosted on platforms like this. And it makes sense that for them to be in a suggested post if they're doing, which, you know, not so much now, but, you know, an STO, well, that content most likely would make more sense being hosted here in a suggested post on BitTube rather than on YouTube where nobody cares about your STO, bro.
I think also that it's a great opportunity. I can understand them right now because the actual Bitcoin Tube platform is not Yeah, not professional enough to handle that, but I believe that the new platform will yeah, get their attention, hopefully.
Well, what's up with that debit card? Because I got really curious when I saw that because I was thinking, I could just earn Tube and actually spend Tube. Is that with a Visa, MasterCard? How did you end up getting this kind of, you
we
know,
had we had
concept in the
last
work?
we had last year during late summer, quarter 4, we had almost everything ready with the third party company, um, but let's say bad news happened around them, and we said by ourselves, okay, it's better for us that we doesn't want to
Yep.
um, be in that drama, and we decide, okay, we need to handle it by ourselves in another way. One of the reasons why we moved to Estonia, by the way, it will come. We are working hard on it, like we did on the first step was the fiat gateway, which is now implemented, then the cash out of tubes, which is implemented, and now the next step for our fiat gateway is debit card, where you're able to stake an X amount of tubes, and this amount plus additional tubes you can put inside of your card wallet, which is available on the extension. And as soon we release the debit card, these clients can use the debit card directly on each ATM to cash out instantly. So we are converting everything for them
I
on
think
the
that's
fly.
awesome. Unfortunately, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's awesome. I just don't know if like by the time these things are implemented into, working in mainstream, not saying like 5 years from now we'll be in Star Trek, but I think the interest to cash out from a crypto into a fiat, into physical fiat anyway, will be extremely undesirable.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, I wish I had 20 physical dollars on me because I really want to go online and buy something with it. Oh, wait, this physical dollar sucks. Like,
I, t- I have still the opinion. I believe that still that until 2013, um, Bitcoin will be the major currency worldwide. That's my opinion, and a handful other currencies will also exist. Like let's say, like in the .com bubble, many tech companies was there, but just a handful of them has survived. And I think this will also happen in the crypto space until 2013. So let's say the next decade. Um, I believe that Tube will be one of them because it's totally independent from his actual market value, how it is. So we have some years time to build our ecosystem around it to be successful. I think cash in and cash out with fiat, it's something nice to have it now, but I don't believe that we will need this um, longer than 2025. That's where I see it
yeah,
goes.
most likely sooner. I'm hopeful. I mean, I think it's going to cause, or not cause, but I think a first world economic collapse, pretty much from anywhere, Paris, America, Canada, whatever, has
I mean,
any issues. All we need is one first world nation to opt into Plan B, like Venezuela's doing with crypto, and it sets a precedent. And at that
exactly.
point, nobody's going to care much for physical dollars. We may have stable coins, things like that, like Tether or something that isn't, as scammy, but people will probably, I think it's not going to take long for people to get interested in the concept of volatility and realize that their whole lives they've dealt with volatility of the US dollar. It's only been reflected on the price tags instead of like the actual paper dollar they hold. When you start to see like one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin and let the volatility be portrayed somewhere else, I think it's going to make people more interested in the concept of a scarce currency and using something that is easier and more permissionless and
You know,
decentralized.
especially volatility has a special rhythm. Um, More users are using something, less volatility you have. Yeah. So let's say you have now Bitcoin. Let's say they have now 10 million active users, but when you upgrade this to 1 million upgrade active users which are using this currency, you will see less volatility and you will have much more stability there inside. So, and you see this already also on altcoins. You see that Bitcoin is moving. Yes, it's yes, more or less stable for a period of time, but then you see BitTube, boom, boom, up, down, left, right. Yeah, this is just simple because it's a very small community, let's say. Yeah, and based on his user base, that's the reason why all this volatility exists here. Yeah, but when you're there and you have 2 million users using something, yeah, then it's stable.
Yep.
That's where we are going.
Yeah, you're seeing, like you said, you're seeing more stability with Bitcoin because of the users, and I like volatility. I enjoy
It's fun.
it. It's like a roller coaster that I can actually ride from my the comfort of my home, and I can
Yeah,
still sweat and have panic attacks. It's like very similar in like anxiety and everything that I even have to strap myself in sometimes and hope the
yeah,
hydraulics work. But I guess to segue a little bit into the security of all of this, right? Who are you using as your security auditor? I had Nathan Hawk, one of my followers, he asked me to inquire about the types of security, third-party security, and if you are looking to do, or is BitTube or anybody doing any open source of these audits of their security? Just curious what's going on back there to secure the data of everything that's going on.
yeah. We have two companies which are taking care with us, so they review our code, and they tell us what needs to be changed and what needs to be restructured or whatever. So they are helping us to keep it secure. Also, the community for sure is all the time welcome to review what we are doing and to help us and tell us where are the bugs, where are security leaks, etc. And we are trying to solve these problems. Um, Luckily for us, BitTube is a fork of Monero. We are also in touch with the Monero developers, and they take very well care about blockchain security issues, and that's a good thing for us that we are able to focus more on the ecosystem around it.
Thank you. All right, I wanted to go through the chat real quick, and I made a post earlier about my opinions on Coin Market Cap and why I don't think that they're justifiably fair in the data they provide, and I saw that they haven't been treating BitTube justly, and I'm just curious, like, what's going on with that?
That's a crazy issue. Luke, when you hear me now. That's a guy from
Oh, I know
uh,
Luke.
God.
I'm going to be actually interviewing him. I say CoinMarketCap is a scam, change my mind, and he said, okay, I'm coming on the podcast.
Bueno, that sounds good. We are trying to set up since 2018. We are trying to explain them that we are a crypto node coin and our max supply is dead. And please add this. You can find it in our GitHub that this max supply has been set inside of the source code. And do you know what they're asking us all the time?
What?
Nothing against CMC, please. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But they are asking us all the time, where is our rich list? Hell, the rich list doesn't exist for a crypto node coin. Yeah. So since back and forth, we are discussing with them and with their support team that such a rich list doesn't exist, so we can't provide you this data. But it also makes no sense to require a rich list just for the max supply, which is on GitHub in public available. We could just go there, and we give them even the exact line of it where it's inside of the source code. Go there, review it, and please change it on CMC. It's not that hard. No, they doesn't like to do it.
That's
And this is
interesting.
that's going now since every few months. It's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So they simply doesn't want to change it, and we doesn't understand why. We doesn't understand how to do that, and we doesn't understand the support team of CMC, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you can get that corrected, man. That's a bummer.
Yeah. And the funny part is, I mean, when we are taking a look on,
Maybe they're just worried about potential whales and biasness. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. But then what would it even matter? How would they know you're not the whale of the data that you gave them anyway? What's it matter?
Exactly. We doesn't know what's going on. You know, we have here max supply. It's written no data. It is inside of our GitHub. We released it all the time. Although we doesn't understand other things like the total supply. The total supply has been updated 1.5 weeks ago, um, but it was not updating 2 months. So it was stay. It
Maybe
was
you have too much of an active currency for them, because I don't think that they have to do that much. I think what I'm saying here is you may be a little too high maintenance for them.
could be could be.
It's not
I pay
you,
them.
it's them. You know, it's one of those relationship issues.
Could be, could be. I don't know, but the fact is that, you know, for example, we are using um, their API for our extension, and we are using the paid edition of it. So especially
Ooh.
that we are using their paid API, I would expect to get a little bit more attention from them. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. All right. Well, I have one last question from the chat here, and he was wondering what are some of the methods or anything that you have in the thought process for acquiring those content creators that are very key in the role for not just BitTube but also the airtime.
Let's say for right now, for 2019 or until summer, we have no plans for them right now. So what we are trying to accomplish at first is to build the product, and when we have a full working product where I'm happy with it, then we will start to go in that direction. We expected from us by ourselves that 2019 will be the year for marketing and everything else. But then we see that no, the product is not ready. It's not what we need to succeed, and just wasting and throwing money away and wasting our ammo for something which is not ready for mass adoption. It's not worth it, and that's the reason why we decide, okay, slow down, finish the product, and when we are ready, then we are ready.
That's why I really like BitTube, man. Y'all grow and adapt, stick and move and jab, and it's. I think a lot of projects have to be more fluid and you know more malleable like that, and be able to move with their developers and move with their foundation and their end users, and keep moving in a direction that may not be so static. And I really think
Yep.
that you guys have like a really unique concept. I mean, there's so many projects out there that are literally copy and paste, same exact project. Oh, what problem are you solving? Oh, we're the Uber of X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah, exactly.
freaking boring to go to a conference anymore. And then here's BitTube. I don't think I know I haven't. I have not seen one BitTube booth at a conference, and you know it's because you guys are putting in a lot of work. You just don't have time to be out there selling vaporware ICO tokens, man. So
We have,
bravo.
you know, we have no interest on that. You know, the point is, the point is that we, me and the BitTube team, we are trying to build a useful product. Not we don't ask for your money. We have not asked for an ICO or for any kind of grabbing money for doing something and then doesn't build anything. So what we are trying is we are going the classic way. You know, since hundred of years the business is working in that way. You build your product when it's mass production ready, then you go and you do the marketing and you sell it. But in crypto, everything works somehow different. You talk it first, you do the white paper, you earn money for it, and then maybe you start to build a product. Um, this case doesn't want to go inside of my head, so I'm not coming from that direction. So that's the reason why we are trying to build the product at first before we earn something.
Genius, man. No, I just got a really good question here from Ninja Cura in the chat. Super genius question, bro. He wants to know if you have any vision outside of the internet for this. Partnerships with streaming services like Netflix, or devices like Roku boxes, or any other mind-blowingly things outside of this streaming and that is a really good question, man. It just blew my mind because I started running with the concept right away.
Yeah, there is something. There is one thing which is in my head, but this is nothing for this year. Maybe when we have time next year, I want that BitTube is building a special router, um, a firmware for OpenVRT or whatever, um, where all your activity, which is going through the router, and this could be anything, yeah, and gets airtime for
Ooh.
that case. And but it's just an idea, and it is not official or something like that. So it's just an idea,
Here's
nothing
a
more.
free bit of advice: build in a physical VPN, and I'll buy the first one.
These things could be done directly on such a device, and you can connect your whole
So
smart home to
basically,
it,
then
and
your
let's go.
router becomes a miner. Your router's a freaking miner.
Yeah,
I would
and
buy one
because
of those for my high school and middle school and library and just leave it there.
yeah, all the time, 24 hours. And the interesting part is that we could extend it with a hard drive, and the hardware could act as a node, so that each of that routers is also a node where when traffic or has been used, you get extra rewards for everything or whatever.
That would be a really interest. Have you ever seen Black Mirror? It reminds me of like episode 2.
No, I don't know it.
Wow, check it out, Black Mirror episode 2. Don't watch the first episode. I feel like everyone's going to tell you not to watch that episode. Every other episode's really good. Just seriously throw away the first episode and watch the second one, and you'd be like, wow, they stole my idea. Because, or not really, but like, it's really interesting to think of, like, I'm going to be able to watch YouTube videos, and over the course of a few months, potentially, who knows, with volatility, I could have enough to subscribe to Netflix for that time and period. So
Yeah,
now I'm earning my subscription fees by participating in viewing the content on the platform. It's like
that's
perpetual motion. I don't even know what to call it.
that's exactly the case. You know, we, like I showed you before, here we have the paywall. And I mean, imagine you have a product and you sell the product, let's say, for 10 US dollar. It could be anything. And you have a purchase button for PayPal, you have a purchase button for credit card, you have a purchase button for Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, I don't know. And then you will
Yeah.
have a purchase button for tubes. Yeah. The airtime system rewards you all the time for your activity with an X amount of tubes. And let's imagine you have already earned one tube. Yeah, let's say the product costs 10 tube, one tube you have already earned. And it's not it's a no-brainer. Yeah, which one you will use? You will use always that where you get the highest discount of it. Yeah.
Well, I already see, like, it. What do you see, like, a way where if I wanted to sell a T-shirt or a hat for, say, a hat for 100 tube, I could have my YouTube videos playing where I could say, "Hey, click here to earn 100 tube," and you could buy my hat, and it would just tell you how long it would take to keep interact. Is that possible? Is there a way
Yeah,
to
sure.
calculate how long it would take to actually earn tube?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. And the tubes which you are missing, you can buy it always instant, additionally. So
I always tell people this, and they think I'm crazy, but they're like, "What's one of your, like, Amazon? When Amazon goes from selling books to Amazon doing what Amazon does now, kind of moments." And what I always tell people is, well, something that's going to be that big that nobody saw coming is, I think Netflix is going to stop charging me, and they're going to start paying me. Because if
yeah,
they don't, somebody else is going to beat them to the punch, and we're all going to be like, "Hey, remember that AOL chat room thing?" Like, that's going to be Netflix real fast if they don't get into the gamification of attention for content curation and consumption. If you're
yeah.
not figuring out how to monetize that for your end user, somebody's going to do it for you, and it's BitTube. So Netflix better start paying me, or I'm not going to
It's
waste
coming.
any more time watching Netflix.
It's coming. I mean, it's coming. If they want or not, it's coming, and the time is playing well for us.
Oh, well, I
And
mean, it's in their favor, right? I mean, airtime is a potential to plug into Netflix, unless, I mean, well, it's not open source, so that makes it a little hard.
yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm doing? I have my airtime module. I'm just going here on my PC on Netflix. I'm watching my content. I'm earning some cubes for it, and I have already some discount to pay my Netflix now because I can convert it also to fiat.
Fuck, dude, that's genius. That's
Yeah.
you know what? I think BitRefill accepts crypto. So I mean, if they don't accept Tube, I'll reach out to them and see if they do. Because I use BitRefill to actually pay my Netflix with Bitcoin, so I don't have to cash out.
Yeah, these are interesting things which are good for us
So
to
the
reach out to that
BitTube
one.
extension works today. Bit.tube works right now. You know, if anybody wants to upload a video or live stream just like this, they could use Bit.tube. What's like the timeline for airtime before it's in, you know, everyday hands and usage just like BitTube is?
Um, the extension is ready. The airtime module by himself is ready, so it can be used. Everybody in the world can implement it right now. We have released it with the last update, which is now 1 week, 1.5 weeks old.
Oh.
So even you on your website, you can implement it already. There is no restriction. I've seen that the first users already earned with their guest users some tubes. Sure, more users, more more tubes. The airtime, the stacking levels for airtime are coming this week. So we expect on Friday the stacking is activated and people are able to activate their different stacking levels to earn more tubes. This is for extension users, but at the same time also for the airtime module users. So let's say tomorrow is coming a nice article. I have it somewhere here. We are working on it. Doesn't matter. I will explain it. With the airtime module, for example, you're able to, let's say, stake 25k tubes, and the amount of tubes which you're earning right now, let's say these are, for example, 3 tubes, you will have a multiplicator of 5. Yeah, so you will not earn 3 tubes anymore daily for your activity. You will get 15 tubes for it, and so on. So even the users between each other are then with the stacking module are competing against the rewards.
So the more you stack, the more you earn.
Exactly. That's how it goes, and everybody can do the math for himself if it's worth it or not.
That's pretty awesome, man. I mean, I could see how it would, and the supply being, infinite, basically. It has what it takes to, be one of those things for the mass adoption on ramp stage where, like you said, all I got to do is get that little copy paste code, paste that in my website somewhere, and then when people visit my website, I can earn Tube.
And you have and one thing I should put here is there for the airtime module you can run it parallel, so you can have your ads as a platform owner, you can run your ads plus the airtime module, so both at the same time, so you get earnings from the ads and the airtime earnings tubes. And just the user by himself, he can decide that, hey, I don't want to see ads, and that's the reason why I'm installing the extension, and then we will remove the ads.
Genius. Yeah, I hate ads. That's kind of why I got kind of interested in basic attention token and started using like that Brave browser and stuff. It was like, yeah, screw ads. Like, I've never seen an ad that actually appealed to me in my life. It's like, hey, do you have bunions? Do you need bunion cream? I'm like, no, I'm in my 20s. Why am I seeing these ads for bunions? And then my friends tell me 3 days later that there was a concert and I didn't even know about it. And if I would have saw that ad, I would have been all over it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's just, the things that are being built today are definitely disrupting what, the legacy systems have designed to basically leech off of our attention, and that is without a doubt. And speaking of leeching, and I guess I could wrap things up here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy guy. With a lot of the things that we have talked about today, and a lot of the things that you have going on with BitTube and Airtime, Jay in the chat brings up a really important question here. What are the steps that you or the project are taking to protect the project's innovations from competitive absorption?
Yeah, that's a really good, tough question.
Are you gonna go Craig Wright and just sue everybody?
There are some kind of technologies which we are not able to patent it. Yeah, and airtime is one of them. So we are secure that we are the first inventor of it, but we are not able to patent it. So the lawyers will not in US, not in Europe, nowhere. It's not patent able, and because it's a business case, it's not. It's a business model behind it, and the business model behind it you cannot patent. So that's how it runs. That's also the reason why Google's search engine is not patent able. You can patent maybe some technologies behind it,
right,
but not the business model behind it. So, and some interesting things are happening. I have seen that Firefox some months ago, quickly after we released our airtime extension for Firefox, and they took it down immediately. Some weeks later, I read an article that how the Firefox management team says, yeah, the times for ads are more or less over. Some new solutions are coming. And I'm just scratching my head and I'm saying, really? Now? Now that we have almost presented the solution, how it could be done and everything. And then today in the morning, I wake up and I see a post from YouTube, how they're working now on basically on an airtime attention model, and I'm asking myself also, really now? Yeah, but the good part is when we are not able to patent it, they can also not
I was just going to say that, all that means is they may have a little bit more money and a little bit more developers, but at the end of the day, you're just going to be like, hey, thanks for polishing up my baby. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to incorporate it. And I would say they have legacy, in other industries, but you have the first mover advantage in the branding of the community of crypto. BitTube is ubiquitous now. Like YouTube has become ubiquitous, and I know you can't patent, the airtime model, but when I say tissue, you think Kleenex, and
Yes.
you can't patent a tissue, but when people say, "Hey, pass me a tissue," it's pass me a Kleenex, and that's what's really important here, and I think that's what's going to really matter at the end of the day is. The first mover advantage, like Bitcoin has its legacy. Its legacy is really important.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's a good case for us. I mean, and it has also benefits. It many people also in the crypto space doesn't maybe understand us or BitTube or the airtime module, and they don't believe at it and whatever. But even when such kind of companies like YouTube, they confirm the road that it could be the correct road for the future, it is also a big confirmation for us that we are going in the right direction, and which will give us hopefully also a big step forward to grow here in that case.
What was the first video streamed or uploaded on the BitTube? Just out of curiosity, was it a cat video? Please tell me it was a cat video.
No, it was not a cat video. The first video I think was coming from me, and it was an old video from Eminem, Slim Shady, which I took down immediately. Yeah.
So wait, you did a copyrighted infringing video on the first stream, dude. That's awesome.
Yes, I did.
I could see us totally getting along at a bar over a beer and some wings, man. That is exactly what I would do. I'm not gonna say that, whatever, but somebody was live streaming the brand new crypto movie on bit.tube not too long ago, and I was able to watch the brand new crypto movie for free because it was like, being streamed on BitTube. So it's like, this is what it's all about. Like it's bringing us back to being, a peer-to-peer economy instead of having all these middlemen in between us.
That's something which I want to show you, the new BitTube platform you have here, for example. I was uploading 4 hours ago, I was uploading the last Joker trailer. And when you see here, when we are forced as BitTube because of a claim to unpublish this post here, this video here, we will unpublish it. Yeah, no discussion basically, but we will unpublish it. But the post here will just show a message unpublished. But you can go there and you say, give me the magnet URL of it, of the content, because it's inside of IPFS and WebTorrent. And you click it, and it goes to the AirShare BitTube app. It pastes the magnet URL, which you can do already with everything. And
so is there a
you
way to
have
fork BitTube and just be able to see all the stuff that BitTube doesn't want? Is there like a
yes.
bit.tube don't dot show me something like this? How do I
Let's
find all
let's
the stuff
let,
you don't want on your platform so I can go down
let's
that rabbit hole?
let's say it in that way, that the new platform is in that way built that it will be open source and there are few flags for it. And when you fork it and you switch these flags and you host the platform by yourself, I'm out of the game, so it's not my responsibility anymore.
All right, somebody
And
use the name bitter.tube. Bitter
whatever.
dot tube, like a bitter woman, or like I'm bitter, that's why I downvoted you. Somebody use
Yeah.
bitter.tube and then just organize all the stuff that got flagged, because I want to see what people have been posting on these platforms that are getting flagged so early. Like, it's interesting, it's we're so new to this kind of technology that it's actually, I think, changing the way people think and changing the way people act in a way that if we looked 100 years ago, the way society engaged with one another, and we look at how we engage with each other today, where I can, hurt somebody's feelings that lives in Africa because I said I didn't like their shoes. You know what I mean? Like, all the way on the other side of the world, I can reach out to somebody and, engage with them, as opposed to, writing a letter to a random address, like a prank phone call, and giving it to Western Union. Like, we have so
Exactly.
much that we can do now with this too. Like, my videos, if I wanted people to watch them, because I can earn on airtime, I'd be out there sending that link everywhere, trying to get more people to engage. So there's a lot of community, like, I would say, like, DNA in this, right? Like, where everybody feels like they're a part of it, and the more they're better, the better that the platform's going to do. Because I don't feel like that with anything else. Like, with Twitter and Facebook, I feel like I could be as toxic as I want and it doesn't really matter. Or I could be as amazing as I want and it really doesn't matter, because I'm not holding Facebook or Twitter stocks.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess to wrap things up, where can people go to find more information about what's going on with Airtime, and how can they get in touch with you and follow the project?
The best way is on Discord. So on Discord, I'm all the time online. Most when I'm working on the PC, I'm all the time available. So just send me a direct message, ask me in public. I don't care. You can just simply get in touch with me. We are not hiding ourselves behind some steel walls. I don't know. So we
Well,
are
you
available.
gotta come out to some conferences, man, and hang out with me. There's some really
Sure.
couple good conferences. What are you doing in June? We can go to Barcelona. There's a 5-day conference in the middle of the ocean.
Let's go. I'm
All
in.
right, we can get Roger Veer to start using BitTube, man, because he's posting on YouTube talking about decentralized censorship resistance and everything else, and I'm just like, hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly. But step by step, I think. Let's meet him. Then I can explain him why.
Exactly. Yo, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Go check out bit.tube. Go to your browser's extension store and install the BitTube extension. Start earning Tube, and you can even go to Twitter, and you can, I think even Facebook works weird. You can just like
Yes.
donate Tube. And you could donate like 1 tube or 10 tube or whatever to your friends, and kind of just airdrop some of that tube that you earned by, just browsing the web. And check out Airtime and come back. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Your thoughts on Airtime and the tube staking and the the whole concept behind having a tube debit card and everything that's coming along with, like, BitTube having the exchange and banking license and everything else. I mean, this is when you want to talk about being unbanked. Creating content on YouTube requires me to have a bank account to get paid. So I can't be unbanked as a content creator on YouTube. But with BitTube, it is entirely possible, completely possible, to be unbanked as a content creator, because no banks were involved in the creating of this content. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast today, and everybody,
Thank you.
enjoy the day.
Thank you. Bye.